Here's the thing, we started out friends. It was cool, but it was all pretend. Yeah, yeah, since you've been gone. What's up, guys? I was wearing my Kelly Clarkson shirt yesterday, so of course, she's still in my head. But how's everybody doing this morning? It's Colton. Welcome back to Mile 17. Thank you so much for coming back, coming to listen, joining this community. We have a lot to cover coming up, and I am super, super excited for it. So this time of year, obviously, sometimes it's a great time of year for people. And then other times it's honestly, this time of year is really tough. And I just wanted to kind of dive into the holidays and thoughts about them and, maybe some ways to navigate them if you're having a difficult time. Maybe this is your first, Christmas without your mom or your dad, grandma, grandpa, aunt, uncle, or maybe you're going through a divorce or a breakup and it's your first holiday without them, or your kids are having to share their time between your place and your ex-partner's place. Or maybe you just moved and you can't get home to your family and you're just going through it. You're having a hard time. So I just wanted to dive into that and kind of give some insight, and hopefully this will help you. So I know we've already gotten through Thanksgiving, and I genuinely hope that everybody had an awesome time, ate some good food, shared some laughter and some love, and was able to, hang out with the people that you wanted to be with first and foremost. But as we're in this kind of in-between phase of Thanksgiving and Christmas, I thought this was a good time to, cover this topic of the holidays because, for some people, you get together with your family every Christmas. It's a tradition. You don't even think twice about it. Everybody has their matching pajamas. You all sit around the table, enjoy food together, laughs, play games, have a huge family outing, and it's something that you look forward to every single year. And if that's you, honestly, that's amazing. And I hope that that's something that you recognize and hold super close to your heart, because for a lot of people, that is not the case. I know a lot of families that really have a difficult time all joining together for various reasons. And this really can be a time of year that brings up a lot of those emotions that maybe you've packed away and not dealt with because, social media is throwing it in your face that everybody's getting together. And, there's the movies and all the posts and all the trips that you see people going on and all the fun, jolly things that people are doing together, singing Christmas carols, going to church together, or, just doing whatever people do on the holiday with family photos. That if you have a difficult time when it comes to the holidays, it can really be triggering. And I have a few points of emphasis that I think might help you get through this holiday season if maybe you need a little bit of just insight or a different perspective on things to do to maybe help get through this holiday. I for one, I love Christmas. I love the Christmas lights. I love the decorations. I love the music. But, my family doesn't do anything. We don't, nobody really gets together. For whatever reason, it's not a huge time of year that we plan all these things. And I think it used to bother me a little bit more than it does now, but I've just come to accept it that it is what it is. And I've dealt with those emotions and those thoughts that I've had and realized that, I can make or break my own holiday season, and I can do the things that bring me joy and be around the people that I love and that fill my cup to get that fix of, of family and connection and togetherness during the holidays. So that leads me into kind of my first point of emphasis during, for Christmas, Hanukkah, whatever you celebrate, it's the holidays. Whatever it is that you celebrate, if you are able to connect with people where you live, kind of make your own family. And I'm talking about friends. For example, I remember in college, I had just a super solid group of friends that we did everything. We would celebrate any holiday. It could be freaking Earth Day, and we would be out there having a good old time, getting together, laughing, just making memories. And, since then, I guess I have great, amazing friends, but I've never had that close of a group of friends that would get together and make it feel like family. If we'd have a Friendsgiving, we would do things for Christmas and take trips together. And I think it was kind of important because not all, but a lot of us had kind of, didn't have that family system to go home to every holiday and enjoy like these traditions and just have this grand old time. Some did, some didn't. And so I think it really helped fill that void and made you feel connected and maybe not as alone during Christmas or Thanksgiving. And I think that if you have, not even if, you have the availability to find people and to put yourself out there, and I know it's hard, it can be super daunting, but you have access to bringing people together, and you can be that person. You can be that person that's like, hey, even if it's 3 people, let's have a little Friendsgiving, or let's go out and, go to a restaurant and have a little bit of a Christmas, early Christmas dinner. And I really think that if you could find that connection and find those friends, that will fill whatever that is that's missing inside of you. Because so many of us get stuck in this old way of thinking of, you have to be, with your blood relatives, and when it comes to Christmas and Thanksgiving, like if you're not with your blood relatives, that it doesn't matter. It's just not true. There's, you create your own family. Blood doesn't really mean anything at the end of the day. It's the people that fill you up the most, that matter the most. So I challenge you, don't make this a huge thing. Try to find 1 or 2 friends, colleagues, coworkers, whatever you have. Try to find that connection. If you're really struggling right now, just ask them, like, hey, what do you got going on? Like, let's go do something. And, go look at Christmas lights together. Go find, some kind of holiday market or whatever you can find. And you'll feel that little warmth inside of you that, like on the Grinch, he's like suddenly feels his heart, when he gets the Christmas spirit. Like, I think you really surprise yourself if you're having a hard time and you're down in the dumps this holiday season. Okay. So that kind of brings me to my next point of emphasis is, if it's too much to even do that, to even find the friends, whatever your situation is, if you have kids, if you have a partner, if it's just you and your damn self, there are things to do, and doing things alone sometimes is the best way to go. I remember when I first moved to the East Coast, I was in Providence, Rhode Island, and I was by myself. We moved in November. I knew nobody, really, other than the people that I had just met working, which, yes, could have reached out, but I don't even think I had their phone numbers. My partner was working. It was just me. And so I took myself to a little event. Shout out Waterfire in Providence, Rhode Island. It's not the most exciting thing in the world, but they have food vendors. There's hot chocolate, coffee, people singing Christmas carols, and Santa's going around the little river there in Providence with fire shooting up. Like, it was cool. Like, and it just made me feel good. It got me out of my house. I did something related to Christmas, which I love, and I promise it helps. So do something like that. Find a market to go to that has holiday vendors. There's things that you don't have to spend a ton of money on that you can just go do by yourself. It doesn't have to be an extravagant $2,000 trip to New York City to see all the lights, although I do recommend that if you're able to, because wow, if nothing else will put you in the Christmas spirit, get your butt to New York City and see the lights. I promise you, it will change your life. I've gone a couple times now, and I'll never be the same. Honestly, it's amazing. I need to go back because there's so much more that I need to do. Anyways, do the things. Take yourself out. I promise you won't regret that. And the third thing that I conjured up, it's not Halloween, but whatever, conjured it up, is to just face these feelings that you're dealing with. And I know that sounds like Doug Colton, like we're all trying to do that. It's not that easy. I know. We all process things differently. We process them on our own time. But if you don't face what you're dealing with, these things are going to keep coming up every year, because guess what? Christmas and Thanksgiving come around every single year. And you may get to January 1st this year and be like, oh, I made it. We got through it. But no, it's going to come back around. It's, super quick. And if you're not dealing with these emotions and, whether that be a death of a parent, and I can't speak for that. I've never had, both my parents are alive, but try processing what you can and taking those steps that you can to just face it and getting a little bit better, 1% better than, that way next year is just a little bit better. whether that's talking to a therapist, talking to your family, your friends, or going to visit their gravesite, or whatever it is that maybe you need to do. If whoever you have lost, try to just face it and try to move on from those things slowly, very slowly, is, I think, super, super important. Same thing if you're grieving the loss of a ex-partner that you are no longer with for the holidays, or your kids and are off to college, and this is your first holiday without them. Like, you need to just address the way that you're feeling and somehow work through those emotions. And if you have access to those people that maybe you're in a fight with, or even if it is your kids that you're just sad that they're not there, just talk through those things with them. That way everybody's aware of how you're feeling, and at the end of the day, that'll at least make you feel better that you've communicated and you're starting to process those emotions and those thoughts, even if you're not consciously aware of it. And you'll find yourself next year being like, oh, okay, like I'm feeling a little bit better each time this rolls around. And before you know it, maybe that'll be something that's behind you, and you can help the next person to be like, hey, it's okay. Like, I've been where you've been, and you'll get through it. I promise. I remember, my parents separated when I was pretty young. I was 7, and they both did a wonderful job. They always made the holidays feel special, and we always had stuff going on when I was a kid. But there was always a part of me that just felt that guilt, like that guilt deep in, and that shame of just like, you can't please both parents all the time. And when you're a kid, I know that my parents had their own feelings that they were processing. And now that I'm an adult, I can look back and be like, wow, like that must have been, I can't even imagine, because I'm the age that they would be when they were going through all this. And honestly, I can't even imagine doing that. Trying to single parent and process the emotions and deal with the ex, like, no, thank you. But anyways, from my perspective, it was a lot of shame, a lot of guilt, and a lot of just wanting to appease both parents and be able to like give them that love and to show up and see each side of the family, because that's what, of course, they wanted. And my family wanted too. You don't want to miss out on mom's side of the family and dad's side of the family. Like, you're trying to do both. And, my sister and I would spread ourselves very thin to, get to both sides, and to no fault of my parents. Like I said, it was just kind of what we did. And we both just took on, a lot on our shoulders to deal with those emotions. And it was hard, and it kind of carried over into my adult life. And I've processed those things, I've talked it out. And, now I don't really feel that way. I am more of, able to see that I'm going to do things that make me feel the most happy and content and joyous during this time of year, and just doing what's best for me. And I think that's the key takeaway from all this, is do what's best for you. Nobody knows how you feel truly. Nobody's inside of your body with you. Like, you have to do the things that feel right to you, and nobody else. And yes, it's always hard for me because I don't have kids, but if you have kids, like, I get it. Like, they kind of have to, their needs, if they're minors, they still need to be before you. I get that. But at the end of the day, do what fills your cup. And the holidays are supposed to be a special and good time of year. And it truly, like, you can make it that way, even if your circumstances aren't quite the best. So I really challenge you this year to just do one little thing to make it a little bit better, so that, and this will help, maybe throughout this next year, like, you'll start doing little things that by the time Christmas and Thanksgiving roll around in 2024, you'll just have a little bit more of an insight and a little bit more awareness of how you feel and how to process these things. So that's what I've got for you today. Those are the key takeaways. I hope that helped somebody. And honestly, I just hope that you have the best holiday season that you possibly can, and do something that just makes you feel joyous and love and connection to people. Because truthfully, like, that's what this whole podcast and this show is built on, is like the connectedness and the community. Like, all that is what matters the most. Like, the materialistic stuff, the presents, all that, like, honestly, it really doesn't matter. It's the connection and the giving and the being with people, and the connecting and commencing when you're singing Mariah Carey or whoever during during Christmas. And if you don't celebrate Christmas, like, I know there's other holidays and other walks of life that do different things during the holidays, and whatever it is, please connect with someone, connect with your people. So that's what I've got for you today. Thank you so much for coming. As always, You can find this on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, and all my socials, Instagram at ColtonLord17. You can find me on TikTok as well. And if you could please like and subscribe and follow the show, it really helps, and give me a nice 5-star rating. And if you don't want to give me a 5-star rating, then it's okay. You just don't have to listen. Okay? So this is Colton. This is Mal17. And I'm so glad that you're here. And I will catch you all next time. Have a wonderful rest of your day.